Welcome to episode 634 of salsidoparanormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I'm talking about haunted places in the U.S. Excuse me. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page. And that is salsidoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or accounts of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. Thank you all for listening, whether you are here for the live streams on Discord or if you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds or on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. There you can hear replays of 2 episodes of my show every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Troubled Minds Radio comes on. And as always, I want to thank Michael Strange, host of Troubled Minds Radio, for having me on the network and putting all my shows up there. If you'd like to support my show, there's some different ways to do that. You can always share the show with others and rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. You can find books I've written over on Amazon, paranormal fiction and nonfiction, including my most recent book, Salsido Paranormal Experiences, which has almost all my experiences that I can think of anyway, and several other accounts of true paranormal stories from the web from the show that are in the book. So looking forward to seeing what y'all think about that. You can also sign up for the Patreon page and get 2 extra episodes of the show every week of true paranormal stories from the web. Or you can just donate through PayPal. Make a one-time donation through PayPal. And support is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows, from equipment to research materials to travel expenses in some cases. I think that takes care of everything for now. Just again, quick reminder, I will not be recording on August 30th and 31st, which means there will probably not be any shows that week after that, until that next weekend. There is going to be a carnival right behind my apartment over that weekend that I won't be recording, and that is why I won't be recording. There will be a lot of sounds from the carnival, all the rides and all the people on the rides, and just all that kind of stuff going on. So just want to make sure I mention that a couple of times here. And I think with that, I can get on to the material here. So this is, again, we're still in California, and these are articles I found online. I will, of course, include them in the episode description so that you can check them out for yourself and get the full text and all the pictures as well, because there are always a lot of neat pictures in these articles here. So this first article is from, let's see here. I think I accidentally deleted the page. What page? Okay. So this is from usghostadventures.com. And so this is talking about the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel in LA. And it's claimed to be haunted by celebrities such as Marilyn Monroe, as well as others, apparently. Excuse me. So this first article here talks about, the title is just the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, and that's the title of the article here. Talks about how it is off the famed Hollywood Boulevard, and it says it's one of the area's most iconic hotels and most haunted, that they say. Apparently, there are reports of many of the stars from the past that are still said to be there, even though they've passed on, such as Marilyn Monroe. Let me see here. Actor, musician Montgomery Clift. Let me see here. Errol Flynn and others have all been seen there. So, talks about how it is next to the Grauman's Chinese Theater, and it is on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it's a common resting stop for tourists and visiting the area. So let's see here. The article has some quick facts here. Talks about how the hotel was built in 1927 and financed by leading stars in the industry. So that's amazing. It was sort of funded and created by the people that would visit the place later on, I guess. The first Academy Awards ceremony was held there in 1929. There we go. And so it's getting to talks about all the stars that have stayed there over the years. Let's see here. Clark Gable, Shirley Temple. So these are just people that have stayed there all the way up to more recent stars. And this is talking about the hotel in more detail about over the years. And so apparently in the 1920s, both in reputation and size, are what basically made it necessary for a hotel to be made. And so that's why in 1927, a lot of people from the area, a lot of local stars and movie, I'm guessing studio owners, came together to fund and then have the hotel constructed. And it was supposed to be the most luxurious in the area. So talks about the people that ordered it constructed. Apparently, it was a Spanish colonial revival style building, and it was the first of its kind in the area. And of course, after it was constructed, it became the home, temporary or long term, for a lot of people that were in the business at the time. So let's see here. At one point, though, I'm guessing in the 30s here. Oh no, I'm sorry. Talks about 1984. In 1984, the hotel was not doing so well. Occupancy was at 5%, and there was basically vandalism done to parts of the place. Lawn chairs and card tables were in the lobby. So, but then in 1985, there was first of 3 renovations that took place there, and to bring the hotel back to the way it was, basically. And so let's see here. It's talking about how, so apparently there's over 12 floors in there, at least 12 floors. So it talks about the hotel itself, the structure and everything. And so now we can get to the paranormal part here. Apparently Marilyn Monroe's spirit has been seen in Suite 1200 and around the hotel, just parts of it, I guess, for many years. Actors Errol Flynn and Montgomery Clift have also been recognized on many occasions. Now, these are actors that are from, again, 1930s, 1920s, 1930s, maybe 1940s, I'm not sure. These are people that I know their names, sort of, but I don't know them very well. So it talks about how Suite 1200 was rented by Hollywood executives, and it was rented out for Marilyn Monroe in the 1940s. So she stayed there for a few years while taking on different jobs around the area for those executives, I guess. So it talks about how Monroe loved the suite, and even after she passed away in her own home, she's still seen there at the hotel at times. And many people say they'll see her figure in the full-length mirror outside of her room. And it once hung in the room, but after basically there was too many reports of paranormal activity that frightened too many people, it was moved to the hallway instead. So that's amazing. If you have a mirror, I mean, again, we've talked about mirrors before and how they can collect and gather and send out possibly energy. They can be used as portals in a way. And so, yeah, I wonder, again, if you think about movies and movie stars and all that, image, of course, is a big part of that. Whether it should be or not, it just is. So I can see a mirror having a lot of energy attached to it from actors and actresses. So it says that modern day celebrities have stayed in the room and reported hearing strange sounds late at night. And so let's see, it says that her spirit likes to travel and has also been seen dancing in the Blossom Ballroom. There's other reports that say that she's haunts the apartment where she and her mother once lived as well. So let's see, going on to the rest of the section here, this article says that other spirits of both famous and everyday people have been said to be in the hotel still, in the rooms and the hallways. Many people hear the sound of a trumpet, and it's said to be Montgomery Clift playing this trumpet late at night. And he spent a lot of time there, 3 months there, apparently, during the filming of a movie, From Here to Eternity, and practicing his, I guess, part for that movie, and that included the trumpet there. And that's, of course, these reports came after he passed away in 1966, I believe it says. So, room 928 is where he appears most often, it says. Hotel staff and guests have felt him sort of moving by them, especially if they were, of course, women. One woman said that she even felt like she was being tucked into bed. That's odd. Even while her husband was already asleep next to her. So, let's see here. Another spirit that is said to be there is that of Errol Flynn, who is known as the original bad boy of Hollywood, according to this article here. And so apparently he was known for hard drinking and not being the best towards women, according to the article here. Some say that he appears as being well dressed, and he appears just in the Blossom Ballroom. So again, that same area near the piano. There's also a spirit of a little girl, nicknamed, or at least given the name of Caroline, that is seen around the pool. And let's see here. She now apparently enjoys prank calling guests from the hotel lobby and playing in the jacuzzi. And she often apparently asks guests where her parents are. Apparently she passed in the hotel and the pool, unfortunately, while they were away. And of course, they don't know how to respond, and then she ends up vanishing in front of them. So that's where that article ends. So we have one more here. And this is from hauntedrooms.com. So I've heard of this hotel before. I'm not as familiar with it as some others. But let me see here. Let me check on everything in the chat. DG says, I love how many buildings will claim to have the same ghosts. Why would they not travel? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe they had a great stay at the hotel and still visit. I'm sure ghosts stay for free. Yeah, I think that's if you think about it, if they are here and for whatever reasons, whether again the afterlife takes place more here and this sort of in the same world that as we are in than we think or than people think, or if they just visit, you would think that they would not necessarily want to be invading people's homes and staying there just to have a place to stay. the most logical place to go to would be, in a way, it would be a hotel, and you would just find a room and just stay there. I would guess. I mean, that makes sense in a way. So, going to the second article here. Again, this is from hauntedrooms.com. And the title reads, The Haunted Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, L.A. So it talks about, of course, this is, some of these websites are literally for checking into these hotels or to booking rooms in these hotels. It says it's in the heart of Hollywood there, and talks about how there's so many reports, or a lot of reports of paranormal activity there. It talks about from this mysterious figure of Marilyn Monroe to the mischievous antics of Montgomery Clift. Excuse me. It says these ethereal guests continue to make their presence known. And it goes on about that. So let me see here. Talks about how so much of the paranormal activity there is attributed to former celebrities, and so that's why these articles are there. Talk about that in a way, I guess. Of course, mentions Marilyn Monroe and Montgomery Clift, who, even though they passed away decades ago, they are still there, at times anyway. So, guests at the hotel have reported seeing Marilyn Monroe's spirit, mostly in her favorite room, Suite 1200. And of course, they mentioned the mirror as well. And but again, there's been so many reports of people seeing images and the images of Marilyn Monroe whenever they look into the mirror, that the staff there moved it out into the room, or into the hallway, I'm sorry, to avoid more, basically more trouble. So this article is very much sort of has a tongue-in-cheek attitude to it that I don't care for. But so let me see here. Moving on, Marilyn's ghost isn't just known to be in that one room. She's also been spotted again in that Blossom Ballroom, and it's also where Montgomery Clift, I believe, is seen. Talks about him again as well. There's apparently one in room 928. There's one. Okay, so it talks about that again already. I didn't see that. So, talks about again this. I may need to do a show on this figure or look into it more. Renowned psychic Peter James spent the night in room 928, and apparently he saw Clift's ghost relaxing in a chair in the corner. So it was there for several minutes, and then apparently vanished. So moving on here, talks about the little girl that is seen then who vanishes. There's another man that's seen in a hotel, probably an actor from the 1920s, even though apparently he's not recognized. He's also seen in that Blossom Ballroom, and so psychics believe he was an award nominee and an Oscar banquet attendee who didn't get beyond that, but still wanted to be there because of all these events. So let's see here. Looking at there's also another tuxedo wearing man that is seen. It's a different guy, I guess, that is seen in that same ballroom, and he's seen he's been heard playing on the piano, And when they look over the balcony, when they're up on the second floor and look down, they can see a glimpse of a apparition in a white tuxedo playing the piano. But as soon as they see him, he vanishes. And after that, so let me see here. And looking at the rest of this here, talks about the rooms itself and the ballrooms. So goes into the history of the hotel, talking about the it's how it was founded and why it was founded by stars and other people in the business. And so let's see here. And then it goes into more detail about the hotel itself, the physical features. Has 300 guest rooms, 63 suites, and a lot of history, of course. So, but yeah, so that's it for that article there. And I guess we'll end with that overall. The next location for next one of these 100 places in the U.S. shows is going to be Preston Castle. And after that, we'll be moving on to another location here. I'm not sure if I have it written down or not. But that seems to be the last one I have on this file anyway. So, Preston Castle. Let me check and see what that one's about. And I have a couple articles that talk about that. So it's an IONE. It's a former reform school that has reports of paranormal activity in it. So, but that's where we'll end it for as far as that material goes for now. Please be sure to check out all the links in the episode descriptions, especially those where I have guests on the show with me. As always, check out their projects that they're working on. So, yeah, looking at the chat here, DG says, funny how musical instruments are almost a portal. Yeah, definitely. So much energy goes into them being used and all that. So, definitely. But yeah, please make sure to check out all the links in the episode descriptions. And also, if you haven't already, please check out the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. Our shows they're playing all day, 24/7. Mine, and then of course Troubled Minds and others as well. They're great shows, and I don't want to name them all because I'll forget one and feel bad after. But it's nonstop every day, and definitely recommend that. Just easy. It's easy to find. I have a link right in the episode description. You can check it out there. And you never know during the day anyway. You'll never know what show you'll hear next, which is actually pretty neat. And then of course at night they have the fixed schedule. So, but and then yeah, I again, as I said, the book is out. The first book that is associated with the podcast, Salsidoparanormal Experiences. It's available on Amazon. $5 for the Kindle, $10 for the paperback book. Of course, if you live in the U.S. and you want a signed copy of that, and you don't mind sharing a mailing address and all that kind of stuff, I can send a signed copy to you once I have the copies, and we can arrange payment through either PayPal or check or money order, however we have to do it. I'm not sure. We can work all that out in direct messaging, either in Discord or through email, salsidoparanormal@gmail.com, and go from there. Thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you all next time on Salsido Paranormal. Take care.